Hi, this is Daniela Cambone for StansberryInvestor.com. Welcome back. Today we're talking about reports circulating around Amazon and whether they're making a move towards accepting payment via the cryptocurrency Bitcoin. Are they one step closer to also considering the creation of their own digital token? We're going to be catching up with Robert Kiyosaki today. He is the best-selling author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. He's a fan favorite here on Stansberry Investor. Welcome to our summer series here, Robert. I know you're in a very hot weather of Arizona, so perfect for our summer series.
Yeah, so I thought I'd wear my summer outfit today.
Welcome back.
Well, thank you. I love your program.
So let's get your thoughts on this news coming out or reports suggesting that Amazon is looking to accept Bitcoin. The bigger story here is, this is following a trend of JP Morgan, Visa, PayPal, Square. Robert, are we one step closer to full adoption here?
Well, let me speak as an investor, not an expert on Bitcoin, because there's two different things. So the way I say it is this, is that anything you say about the future is okay. Like if I tell you, Daniela, that in 2030, I'm going to walk on water, is that a lie? No. So anytime I'm talking as an investor. So every time I hear news, I have to take it with a grain of salt. I say, well, anything about the future is not a lie, but it's also not the truth. So if I could pass on a lesson to everybody, because you go crazy listening to rumors. And I've had the life experience of, being in the gold and silver markets. I've taken a gold company public and a silver company public back in the 90s. And we depended 100% on rumor. Like I say, anything said about the future is not a lie. So Danielle, 2030, I'm walking on water. Well, so far, what are you going to do with that? Bet on it, invest in it. And that's what happens to people, is that when I was in the gold and silver mining business, and there was no mine, there was nothing there. But we had to tell all these stories, and we would go in the old days, there were newsletter writers, and we would talk about what we were doing. So we'd give them the name of our company, and we'd say, guess what? Yada, 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 yada. And so the newsletter writer would say, well, how many shares do I get?
Right.
You know the game.
Yeah.
You know the game.
Yeah. Not much has changed.
No. So anyways, I also want to educate the viewers on the world of investing, not Bitcoin. So every time I hear news like that or whatever it is, I just kind of take it with a grain of salt, if you can understand that. So what happened was, my teacher, he passed away, unfortunately. He was one of the greatest guys. He took like 18 companies public. He was a gold and silver guy. And he always said something. He says, the difference between my lies and your lies are my lies come true. And so Danielle, I was on the Vancouver Stock Exchange with all the banditos up there. I love Vancouver. For those of you who are not in the investment world, when I told people I was working in Vancouver on the VSA, they treated my head leprosy or something. They stay away from me. But as my friend Frank would say, look, we're just telling people our lies, but our lies will come true. That's an entrepreneur. So if I can pass that lesson on. And so then we started a silver mine in Argentina. And guess what? Both mines came true. So I've learned to differentiate between the noise, because to make it come true, Daniela, we had to tell a lot of lies. But as we're holding our finger like this, the lesson is the lesson for all investors is this: as an old guy, I hear a lot of opinions, like Robert Kiyosaki is going to walk on water in 2030. Now, if you bet on that, good on you, you know?
I might use that as a headline. It's a good one.
Yeah, but do you know what I mean?
I know what you're saying.
It's, Daniela, it's not a lie.
Right. It could happen. It could happen. It's not a lie.
It could.
I don't think it's so far-fetched to see, like, you know, when I saw that story, and whether it's true or not, I think it's a logical next step. Yeah. So, okay, Amazon might start accepting Bitcoin. I personally would not be surprised at all.
I wouldn't either.
Right.
But I'm not going to bet the life savings on it.
Right. And I think the bigger picture here is, could you see adoption of Bitcoin? Will it be accepted as a respectable form of currency?
As for full disclosure, okay, this is the other investor lesson, an investor lesson from an old guy, okay? Old guys have some value, Danielle. Look, in investing, your profit is made when you buy. So for full disclosure, I bought a lot of Bitcoin at 9,000. And today I think it's around 39 or something like that. I don't really care because it's always your entry point.
Right.
And this is the other lesson, okay? The other lesson for all you newbies into this world of investing, always remember the bull goes up the stairs, the bear comes out the window. Mm-hmm. Now, why that's important is this, okay? I have never seen an economy like this. And I never thought it would get this bad. I mean, I can't believe let me give you, so it's opinion versus fact. Let me give you the facts. In 2008, the deficit was 1.4 trillion. In 2020, it's now 5 trillion. What happened? I mean, how can we keep floating like that? Would be like you, Daniela, all of a sudden say, well, I'm now 5 trillion in debt. Well, so when you say the bull goes up the stairs and the bear goes out the window, they're pumping all of this fake money into the system, you know, Biden and his buddies. And the reason I say that the bull goes up the stairs is everybody's happy. So please hear me and I don't trust the Fed, number one. They're a bunch of PhDs like my poor dad. If you trust a PhD, you need your head examined. So these guys, they've never had a job. They're not going to, they got a government pension for life. They're not counting on their retirement. They're a bunch of criminals as far as I'm concerned, but they're PhDs. And you don't say anything bad about PhDs. That's like condemning the Virgin Mary or something. So what happens when the bull is going up the market, everybody's happy. Everybody's excited. So these bullshit stories come out. Oh, Amazon's going to do this. Or, you know, Robinhood's going to do that. Or Joe Schmo's going to do this. Daniela, everybody's happy when the bull is going up the stairs. Being an old guy, when the bear goes out the window, people get depressed. And that's my third level, how many lessons I've given so far. But just remember, when the BS stops going up the stairs, you know, FOMO, fear of missing out and all this, people are euphoric right now. You know, I mean, that Robinhood, I mean, their IPO is worth 40 billion. You know, all these millennials are now stock traders, options traders. I mean, they don't know anything. They're young people, and that's the way it should be. I mean, there's some of them will rise to the surface. Most will get wiped out.
Yeah.
So the last thing is this: when the bear comes out the window, people get depressed, and that's when the depression starts. So you've had records on and all this. We're calling for a depression. So just hear me. So I'm not trying to be a pessimist. I'm just, you know, Records and I are just old guys. Well, the good thing about being old guys like Jim Records and I, we've heard every BS story, the bull's going up the stairs. And always remember this, people are ecstatic. I mean, even if you don't have money There's something about a bull market
Right.
that makes people happy. But when the bear goes out the window, people get depressed. And that's when the depression starts. So my lesson as an old guy is this. Amazon is this, Bitcoin may do this and all that. When people are happy, they're gullible.
Interesting. I'm going to think about that one. It makes me think of the last time you were on, you told me about your personal trainer who was not listening to you about money. Is she listening a little bit more these days?
No, I got a new personal trainer.
Good one. Good answer. Okay, let me ask you this. It's the summer, right? It's our summer series, and a lot of people I've been speaking to, oh, they're traveling again. They're back in Europe. I can't get into a restaurant. There's complete euphoria, pent-up demand. You see it all around, right?
Yeah. It's the bull is going up the stairs.
Right. Bull is going up that stairs. Well, come September. So everyone is kind of, I've been talking to people in the gold industry. Sales have kind of slumped so far this summer. Everyone's thinking, oh, we don't need gold right now. We don't need silver right now. When September comes around the corner and fall starts, what kind of economy do you think we'll see, Robert?
Well, again, I just look at the facts. Okay, there's opinions and facts. And I go on facts as an old investor. The facts are when QE3 came out in 2008, they were pumping 80 billion a month into the economy. A month. Today, they're printing 120 billion. So the bull is going up the stairs. We have a bubble like we have never seen before. And I agree with you. And my friend and I were riding around last night looking for a restaurant in Scottsdale to have dinner in. Everyone was packed. I mean, some people were in evening gowns. I said, must be time to sell.
Yep. Yep.
Do you know what I mean? It's the signs of euphoria sucks in the losers.
Interesting. Yeah. Let me ask you this. I know that you've spoken, you've bought Bitcoin, you like Bitcoin, you like gold. I know in the Bitcoin space, you have great respect for guys like Robert Breedlove. I just had him on, and they have some really bold, big calls for the crypto. Like I asked him, I said, Robert, you still think we're going to see $308,000 Bitcoin by October? And he's like, okay, maybe not October, but Q1 of next year. It's not, improbable that it could happen. And I asked him to explain to me the trajectory and how it could get there that fast. And I know you've said, we can't look to the future. Who knows? But Robert can walk on water. But when you hear those calls, 200,000, 300,000 by year end or the start of next year, could you see that really happening in the Bitcoin space?
As an old guy, anything about the future is not a lie. They're not telling the truth, but they're not lying. Just remember this, is that people are in euphoria today. And that is, for an old guy, it's like, what was his name? Joe Kennedy. His famous line says, the shoe shine boy gave him a stock tip. And he came in and he says, when shoe shine boys give you a stock tip, sell. And the same thing happened to me in 2008, because I'm pretty good with real estate. I made nearly $1 billion with Trump, my friend. And I was in Safeway just before 2008, and the Safeway girl gave me her business card. She says, I flip houses, in real estate. This is just before the crash of 2008. I turned to my friend, it's time to sell. And I don't sell, it's just I stopped buying and I'll shifted my attention. So I never sell, Danielle, I never sell. I'm not a flipper, I don't sell, I rather accumulate. So when she said, it's time, I should start flipping property, I pulled back and I shifted my mindset for the crash. And so there's a lesson, and I know I sound like a pessimist because the bull is going up the stairs. But right now, I would be shifting my mindset to a crash. Now that gets me sexually stimulated because, when the crash comes, gold, silver, and Bitcoin goes down with it. And I'm going to buy more. So my lesson is you better know what you're going to buy in a crash more than what's going up in a boom. Because this is not a boom. This is a mania, boom, bust, and mania. Like I said, I went to this one restaurant just last night, and people were in evening gowns. They're going, "Hey, this is Scottsdale. Nobody dresses in evening gowns."
Oh, that's hilarious.
Bulls go up the stairs, bears go out the window, and Rickards is calling for depression, and I agree with him.
The Great Depression, a depression we've never seen before. Let
Correct.
me ask you this, Robert, because you've said you have a lot of wisdom, and I love when you share it with us. And today you've come armed with a lot of it. When you say this is an economy you've never seen before,
No.
right, in your lifetime, how do you even prepare for it? Like I said, I know you said you're changing your mind frame to now crash, but is there anything else you can do to prepare if you've never seen anything like this before?
Yeah, there's always going to be a new Phoenix rising, if you know what I mean. Like I live in Phoenix, Arizona, but historically, that's always what happened. You look at what happened with Amazon. They rose out of the ashes of the dot-com bust. So what's going to happen is when this whole, if and when, I'm not saying it is, but if this whole thing crashes down, you're going to look for the next Phoenix. Who's going to come out of these ashes? Now, I wish I had bought Amazon back then. I wouldn't touch Amazon today. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, I just wonder who that next Phoenix is.
I know, but be prepared. Listen to Stansberry research. Yeah, no, I'm serious.
My own show.
I'm absolutely. That's why I listen to your program. I listen to records. I don't trust the guy selling me a 401k.
I know you're our number one fan.
I don't like 401ks, because that's what comes out of the dog's butt at the end of the process. I like startups. I love startups. So I'm still proactive. But when we're in the middle of when people are wearing evening gowns in Arizona, it's a bubble.
Maybe it was prom night. Who knows?
What's that?
Maybe it was prom night.
No, not these women. The prom was a couple of decades earlier.
Oh, so bad. Robert, let me ask you, speaking about the future billionaires, Amazon and Robert walking on water, what do you make of Bezos and all these other rich guys going to space? Is that something you would do next? What do you think of it? Is it waste of money or incredible?
Well, I have this therapist who says you are what you fantasize about. I don't fantasize about going in space. I flew for the Marine Corps. And back in the 60s, they were looking for guys who wanted to volunteer for the right stuff, to be a part of the astronaut program. It didn't turn me on at all. So I just say to people, I'm quite happy with my Layer 60. And it makes me money. I mean, it's my 60, one of the best deals I've ever came across. I get an ITC, an investment tax credit for my Layer 60, and I make money on it. So I paid less taxes, and I'm making money, and I get free jet rides. So okay. Space rides don't turn me on, but jet rides turn me on.
Okay, so no Robert and space anytime soon. Last question for you. You brought up your gold mining past, which you don't really talk about a lot. I want to ask you this. Do you miss bringing those gold miners and silver miners public? Do you miss any of that past life, Robert?
It was the best education I could ever have. I swear to God, I was in Vancouver, where all the Frito Banditos live. I learned more bullshit stories there than any place on earth. And then we migrated from Vancouver to Toronto, TSA, Toronto Stock Exchange, went public. We struck gold in China, and I thought I was a billionaire, and then the Chinese took it. I had the best education of my life. And so today, when I hear China is now is one of the biggest gold producers in the world, I said, yeah, that was my gold mine, you guys.
Your gold. Do you invest in gold mining companies today?
Yes. Okay. I'm very, very, now I think gold and silver and not so much Bitcoin. I'm gambling on Bitcoin, but I trust guys like Breedlove and stuff like, I know Peter Schiff hates them. Max Kaiser hates gold and all this. I don't know. Everybody's got their opinion. But that's what I'm saying, is anything said about the future is not a lie. So when you see me walking on water in 2030,
All right.
you'll know.
I'll be there.
This is the final word to everybody. This is the 50th anniversary of Nixon taking the dollar off the gold standard. I think that is probably one of the biggest things that changed the world. August 15th, 1971. It's the 50th anniversary, and look at what's happening. Check the facts, Jack. This economy is coming apart. When we're printing, in what was the numbers? I just wrote them down. QE3, 80 billion a month. Today, in July 2021, $120 billion a day to keep this bull BS market in the air. God almighty, it's 50 years. Think about that.
I can, and we are planning something special for that anniversary, Robert. And when you say those numbers, it's make-believe land, right? It's make-believe land. Let's just, invent invent numbers out of thin air. That's what it is.
Yep.
Robert, I appreciate you dropping in and saying hello for our summer series. Stay safe in Arizona.
And Daniela, please, thank you for letting me be me.
Always.
And if you see me in an evening gown, thank you.
I'll know something's up. Something's up. Robert, thank you so much. And thank you all for watching our summer series. We have amazing guests. I told you we would. So stay tuned to stansberryinvestor.com. In the meantime, if you want premier content and a lot of cool stuff, sign up free at danielacambone.com. That's it for me. Thanks for watching.